Hello, welcome to the Retro Shed. I'm Barry, and this is.
Hi.
Hello, it's Izzy. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
You alright?
Yeah, cool,
What are you doing?
cool. Just about to record a video all about nice hoodie. Actually,
Oh,
show them the
thank
hoodie.
you.
You might want to come in.
Oh,
Nice hoodie,
thank you.
brilliant. That is. We're just about to start recording our ZX Spectrum show.
Oh.
Yep. ZX Spectrum, awesome. Bit before your time, I think.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah.
In that case,
I'll leave you to it then.
see you next week then.
Later.
Bye. Right, welcome to the Retro Shed. I'm Barry, and this is.
Yeah, whatever, Dad.
This is. What's the matter with you? What are you doing? Josh, take the headphones off, mate. What are you doing?
Being a 16-year-old.
Why are you being a 16-year-old?
Because we've got Sniper Elite 3 now, I should be acting like a 16-year-old. Texting.
You've got a few years to go before you become that obnoxious, so you can cut the 16-year-old out
Bye.
today. Let's just be Joshua for today.
Okay.
Anyway, what are you listening to anyway?
I listened to this thing, but I keep having to rewind it because it keeps on ending.
What is it? What are you listening to?
Wait. Do you recognise it? Wait.
That's enough of that. Today, guess what we're talking about?
Oh, nice up to you.
And today, we want to talk to you about what?
A pregnant calculator.
A pregnant calculator. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Yeah, welcome to the Retro Show. Now that I've got Joshua back and he's not pretending to be a moody 16-year-old.
Texting.
So what was all that about anyway?
I don't know.
Just because you want to play 16-year-old games on the PS4, you think you've got to behave like a 16-year-old?
If anyone's going to stop me, I have to look like a 16-year-old and behave like a 16-year-old.
You got a way to go yet, kid. Enough grunting for one day.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So, today we're going to be looking at what he tells me
Yes.
is one of the most awesome and popular computers of the early 80s and
Yes.
was Sir Clive Sinclair's baby.
That's
apparently.
right. You disputed that at the end of last episode, actually.
This
And
thing,
it is
This thing, I don't know what
the
it is.
iconic,
I don't know what it is.
don't be rude, the iconic Sinclair ZX Spectrum.
Oh, that's what it is!
Yes, that's what it
I
is.
think I might
No.
have heard that somewhere.
This is a very, very special computer indeed. Now, I'm sure you've heard me say that before.
Probably.
Let's go back to the early 80s, shall we? The English town of Cambridge was home to a company called Sinclair Research. It was actually home to a company
Indeed.
called Acorn Computing as well, who
They
happened
made
to
the BBC
be...
Micro, didn't
They
they?
did. They were also Sir Clive Sinclair's arch rivals, and they went on to create the awesome BBC Micro. That's another story. That's another episode for another day.
next time.
But this, next time. But this single little machine invokes so many great childhood memories of people of my age group.
So quite old then.
Well, not that old. Well, yeah, okay, old. This amazing little machine introduced so many people into the world of computing and gaming. It makes you recall such wonderful times, doesn't it? Like hanging out in W.H. Smith's or Boots, you know.
Boots!
Boots! Boots the chemist used to have a huge display of computers and games. You guys will probably remember that, but they did. Boots used to sell computers, and we used to go to Boots and look at the displays and hang out looking at the new games until they'd turf us out of the shop, actually. We'd chat at school about which computer was better.
We did that today. Which one's better, the Xbox One or the PS4?
Yeah, exactly. So it was the same when I was a kid, but it was more arguments about the Spectrum, the 64. We had some great computing magazines of the time, like Sinclair User, Crash, Zap, machines like that. We used to type out endless programs from these magazines into our speckies. It reminds me of my bike, my Rally Grifter. Yes. Knight Rider. The memories just go on and on and on, don't they, really?
Indeed. Wasn't the Spectrum one of those machines that literally started teenagers making games and becoming millionaires?
That's right, yeah. I mean, this computer pretty much kick-started the bedroom coding revolution, and it led to people like Matt Smith, who wrote Manic Miner.
Matt Smith, isn't that the guy that's in The Doctor?
What?
Isn't that the guy in The Doctor, Matt Smith?
No, different Matt Smith. Matt Smith. But yeah, good point. No, different Matt. He wrote Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy. You've got Richard and David Darling, who became Codemasters. They started writing games in their bedroom. Tim and Chris Stamper from Ultimate Play the Game. They went on to become Rare. And all these people, these coders, a lot of them actually are still involved in the gaming industry today, and they started their careers writing games for that little thing in their bedrooms.
The ZX Spectrum actually was first launched in 1982, wasn't
1982?
it?
Wow.
And there was two models, the 16K version and the 48K version.
Yeah.
Priced at £99 and £129.
$99.99, I think, yes.
Not much of a difference, but...
No, but you had, more memory, the 48K version.
Yeah, many of the games written for the Spectrum were for the 48K.
They were.
Although you could buy an add-on that increased the memory of the 16K to 48K.
Yeah, it's called a RAM pack, I think.
It was by far the most popular version.
It was.
48K was.
It was, absolutely, yeah. So 1982, before... was born. Now,
indeed,
I bet you know absolutely nothing about what was happening back in 1982. So here are some facts.
Wow, actually, funny you should say that, but 1982 happens to be one of my favourite years in history.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that the DeLorean Motorcar Company went bust?
Yeah, they did.
Probably because it's rubbish. Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands and started the Falklands War.
They did, yes.
The Eurovision Song Contest was held in Harrogate and in Yorkshire and was won by Germany.
Really?
Moving on. The Smiths were formed in Manchester by Morrissey and Johnny Marr.
I love the Smiths.
The Ford Sierra was launched to replace the aging Ford Cortina.
The Sierra! That was like a jelly mould upside down on wheels, wasn't it?
Channel 4 began broadcasting.
They did, yes.
Thriller by Michael Jackson was released, which became the best-selling album of 1982.
How strange.
And the Commodore 64 was released, and we like the C64
We
very
love
much.
the Commodore 64,
Knight
don't
Rider starred a talking car, and
Knight
the
Rider.
Hoffmeister began in 1982.
Knight Rider started in 1982.
E.T., Star Trek 2, Poltergeist, First Blood, and Tron were released this year.
Okay, that's enough. We get the issue. He knows 1982.
I was born in 1982.
No, you weren't. When people hear the word ZX Spectrum, they tend to immediately think of the little rubber-keyed marvel, don't they? This one here. But actually, surprisingly enough, I didn't even know this. There were 8 different models of the ZX Spectrum over the years, and they were the ZX Spectrum 16K, 1982, £99. The ZX Spectrum 48K, launched obviously in the same year, that was £129. Then in 1984 came the ZX Spectrum Plus. Now I love the ZX Spectrum Plus. It was £179.99. It had a better keyboard, a better case. It looked a more professional machine.
Similar to the QL, wasn't it?
And it had, it was very similar to the QL. The look and the design of it was similar. And it had the very same computer inside. So you could actually buy the Sinclair Plus case, open your rubber keyed one up and transport the motherboard into it. It was brilliant. Then in 1985 came the Toast Rack, which a lot of people know as the ZX Spectrum 128.
Why do they call it the Toast Rack?
$179.95, 128K of RAM, better sound chip, serial port, monitor port.
Why do they call it the Toast Rack?
They call it the Toast Rack because on the one leading edge of it, there's a heat sink that pokes out of the side of the machine. It's like a slotted thing. There's a picture of it. There's a picture of it there. And it looks like a toast rack. So people call it the toast rack. Now, here we go. 1986, all change. The Spectrum Plus 2A was launched for $149.99. This was the first Amstrad Spectrum, and it had a proper keyboard, a grey case, and it looked very much like the CPC 464. But more about that later. In 1986 also came the Spectrum Plus 2B, which was a later version of the Spectrum Plus 2A.
Is the next one going to be 2C?
No. Not a bad guess, though. I think the 2A was grey, the 2B was a darker black, and it's the version that we've actually got. Then in 1987, quite late in the Spectrum's life, came the Spectrum Plus 3. That was $249.99, but the price...
That's the most expensive one.
Yeah, I think so. The price soon dropped, though, because it didn't sell very well. It was a much more powerful one.
Was it a flop?
It was a bit of a flop, and included a 3-inch floppy drive.
Flop!
Sorry, that was terrible, wasn't it? Extra ROMs, and it had the ability to run CPM OS. It was quite a powerful machine, actually. The Spectrum Plus 2 and 3B versions were very similar to the Spectrum Plus 2 and Plus 3, but had audio chip differences. Are you still with us? There were also some clones, but we won't cover them here.
It might be a FIFA, actually.
Yeah. So we're looking
60,
at...
FIFA 17, FIFA 18. I found FIFA 18 in game a couple of days ago, actually.
Oh, not FIFA. So there were 8 different models of the Spectrum, actually.
So, after calling Sinclair's machines pregnant calculators,
Yeah.
Sir Alan Sugar decided to purchase the brand from Sir Clive Sinclair for £5.
No, £5 million.
In 1986. Amstrad started to produce the new range of Spectrum Plus computers, and you can see that they're very similar to the Amstrad CPC range, but with the added on board tape drive and disk drive.
That's right, yeah. But, you know, at this point in time, when Sir Alan decided he wanted to buy the Spectrum brand, sales were all starting to falter, because at this point, the new 16-bit computers were starting to come onto the market. So we're talking about the Atari ST, the Commodore Amiga. Amiga. These machines were far, far more powerful than the Spectrum range, and suddenly the Spectrum models really started to show their age. So the sales of the Plus range started to dwindle at this point, you see.
Yeah, Sir Clive started dabbling in electronic vehicles at this point. The battery-powered C5, which is a total
disaster.
He also created the 16-bit Sinclair Q-Out to try and compete with the business and machines such as the Apple Macintosh, the IBM PC. But this too was a total flop.
Yeah.
And the Q-Out didn't do very well at all.
It was a nice machine. I like the
Q-Out
Q-Out.
incidentally stood for Quantum Leap, as it was supposed to be a far superior machine to anything Sinclair had produced before.
That's right. He did want a piece of the business market, but it wasn't up to the job, really. It didn't do very well. Actually, he also created the portable computer called the Z88. Strangely enough, in 1988, which was a small, powerful, portable computer with a little LCD screen at the top, and it was made on the company name, not Sinclair, Cambridge Computers, which was Sir Clive's other company. This, too, also was a complete...
flop.
Yes.
I don't even know why I do that. I mean, what is that?
No, I don't know.
I mean, it goes really high and it goes really low.
Looks more like a wave than a flop, doesn't it? But the Spectrum, yes.
It's best known for its rubber keyboard.
It is.
Small, compact size, looks a bit like a pregnant calculator, it's a brilliant collection of games.
Yeah.
It didn't have an onboard joystick port on the first models, and relied on a third-party interface called Kempston.
The Kempston joystick interface.
Was that a flop?
Yeah, the Kempston, no.
So you could connect a standard Atari-style 9-pin joystick.
That's correct,
to it.
yes.
Peripherals included a ZX printer that used hot foil type paper.
It's hot foil paper.
Yeah, that looked a bit like silver toilet paper.
It did. It looked like a roll of silver toilet paper.
Micro drives, which are small wafer-like cartridges with a spool of tape in them for faster loading and save times. There was only one expansion port for such devices.
Yeah, everything plugged into the back of the Spectrum, but micro drives were... They were a good idea, but they were horrific. They were like a tiny little cartridge with a single spool of tape in them. Yeah. And they were very unreliable, but they were probably about 5 to 6 times faster than cassette. Yeah. The Spectrum sold over 5 million units in its time and led to a huge boom in companies producing hardware and software for the machine, actually.
What's the difference between hardware and software? Is one harder than the other?
Yes.
I always get confused about that.
Software is... code is software that goes to create the game. Hardware is anything you can physically hold in your hands, like a cassette, a keyboard, a joystick. Software is just code, it's just programs.
Right.
Have we cleared that one up?
Yes, we have.
Glad. So many people involved with working for the Spectrum today are still working in the industry. They're either What are you laughing at?
You.
Okay. I'm glad you find me funny. They're still working in the industry today, a lot of these people that wrote the games, and actually this computer was probably responsible for many of the people working in IT today, such as...
you.
Me, yes.
An old guy sat at his desk.
Fascinated in computers.
Coffee, like...
Do you think that's all we do all day in IT? Going...
Yeah.
Have you restarted it? Have you tried restarting it?
Have you tried the on button?
Yeah, that's not what we do. We do a lot more than that,
The
actually.
Spectrum's main rivals were the Commodore 64, BBC Micro, Amstrad, Dragon 32, and the Auric 1, which were all pretty successful computers.
They're all
in
right.
their
I mean,
own right.
I love the Commodore 64. I love the BBC. I love the Amstrad.
I love it more than you.
Yes, I think you do.
Come
actually.
at me, I love the Amstrad more than you.
Stop being so violent.
You
You're
want
acting like a
some?
16-year-old.
Exactly.
Calm down. We haven't got a Dragon 32, actually. I've never played with a Dragon 32. So if any of you guys out there have got a broken Dragon 32 you'd
Send
like
it
to
to
donate,
us.
send it to us. Right. You ready?
Kindly donate.
Are you ready for the techie bit?
Oh no.
We've got to do the techie bit.
Yes, we have.
The Sinclair Spectrum had a Z80A CPU in it running at 3.5 megahertz. Now, the hardware was designed by a chap called Richard Altwasser, who worked for Sinclair Research. The outward appearance, the wonderful design of it, was Rick Dickinson's design, and he's also working on the Spectrum Next and some other... He was responsible for the design of a lot of the Spectrums, actually. Video output was through an RF modulator for use with old CRT TV sets, actually. Text resolution was 32 columns by 24 rows of ZX Spectrum character set. There were 7 colours, featuring 2 levels of brightness for each colour, plus black. That led to 15 shades of colour. Image resolution is a whopping 256 times 192, and it came with Sinclair Basic stored in ROM, so when you powered it up, you were ready to code. As with all Sinclair products, it was designed to be a minimalistic, cheap, and affordable machine whilst having a futuristic, high-tech appearance.
I don't blame you if you just fell asleep then, because I just did. Can you say that all again? I wasn't
Yes,
listening.
I can. The
No!
ZX, it was nearly not called the Spectrum. It was going to be called the ZX82 because the ZX80 was launched in 1980, the ZX81 was launched in 1981, and the Spectrum was launched in 1982.
I'm going to act like I just knew every single thing you just
This
said.
isn't
but
the
I don't.
techie bit now, Josh. This is the interesting bit.
Is it not?
So Sir Clive, this was the first colour computer produced by Sinclair, and he wanted this to be reflected in the name. So the ZX82 name was dropped, and Spectrum was chosen instead, because that's a much more colourful word. And
I've just realised.
he also asked Rick Dickinson to incorporate the now famous Spectrum stripes onto the case design.
You're wearing your Sinclair shirt, I'm wearing my Amstrad shirt.
How uncanny, the two companies involved in the
It's
Sinclair
not like earlier you
Spectrum.
just told me wear your Amstrad shirt and I'll wear my Sinclair shirt to make it look like they're pairing together or anything.
It's almost like we decided to do that beforehand.
Anyway, isn't there a new Spectrum coming out?
There is.
I heard that.
There is a brand new Spectrum coming out, but more about that at the end of the show.
Well, shall we have a look at a handful of games?
Let's have a look at a handful of the best games for the system. Now, this is our choice. This isn't kind of like everybody else's choice. This is personally just a handful of the games
Hang
that
on a
we
minute.
absolutely love.
Elite's in there?
Elite is one of the best games for the Spectrum. We'll take a look at Elite.
Yeah.
Have a look at some of these games.
Will it be a bit over my head?
No. The first game we're looking at is
Today?
Cybernoid. Now, this is a really tough... You know I love shoot-'em-up games, don't you, Josh?
Yes, I
this,
do.
This is tough. This is a tough game. Let's have a look and see how far Josh can get. So, there's the word Kempston. Look, choose Kempston.
Once.
And away you go. Let's see how far... This is tough. I'm telling you now, it's a tough little game. Go for it.
Oh, there's my
Oh, the graphics brilliant for the Specky. Look at it. Love it.
Oh my
It
god.
never fails to amaze me how
this
much...
is difficult.
It's very difficult. It's always amazes me how much people manage to squeeze out of this little machine graphics-wise. I mean, it's so good.
What? This game is difficult. Ash.
Just waiting for those immortal words, and he's handed the joystick to me. He hasn't yet. But it's a toughie, this one is. But it's... I used to play this a lot on the Amstrad, actually. It's very colourful, it's beautiful on the Amstrad, and it's got a really cool soundtrack as well.
Yeah. It's very difficult.
It is very good. It is. I'm telling you now, it's a tough little game, this is, but it is really nice on the Specky. It looks nice. Very minimalistic sounds. There's not there's
Where
a
do you
gun
have to
there.
go now?
Drop off the button into the next page, next screen. There you go. Press and hold your fire button. Press and hold your foot. There you go.
Oh, sit.
It's your heat seeker.
Oh,
Right now, when you go on to the next screen, somebody shoots you straight away. So just drop down, stay down. That gun pulses every now and then. So the idea is to move into each one of those little slots. You can't shoot that gun, it's just go. Go to the game.
Oh, I get it, I get it.
Keep going.
Just play safe.
Go. Up, straight up. And watch those two. Stay to the top of the screen because those two rockets are going to come up at you.
When?
When you go right above them, so go forwards. There you go. Go. Oh, you're stuck.
Oh, that
You
little
got stuck.
vine stopped me. That little vine stopped me.
So this is the brilliant Attic Attack
can't say
by
it.
Ultimate, who went on to become
Rare.
Rare. Very good. This is a brilliant game, very polished. 1983. That was before they were called Ultimate Look ACG. There was something computed. I can't remember what they were called. Brilliant game.
Oh, I just
Look at the graphics.
What do I have to do?
You have to go from room to room collecting stuff.
Like that. Do you have to shoot things?
You can shoot, the ghosts and the wizards and go through the doorways. Don't stay in there. If you stay in a room for too long, things spawn.
I guarantee if I go through there.
See that chicken on the right? That's your life, your health, I think. But this was a very, very polished game. Very polished game, and it still looks wonderful today. I love this game.
What do you have to do? How did you win?
Oh, you have to pick up certain things. Yeah, the door's just open.
Oh,
You wait, door's open. There you go.
Oh yeah, sure. That's then. Oh, can I go for this one?
Yeah.
Do you have to keep wandering through doors? Is that what you have to do?
You have to collect items, but I can't remember for the life of me. A door will open.
Wow.
No. Just keep shooting. Kill stuff.
Which one will open?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
It's good though.
Again, this is quite difficult actually.
It is difficult, yeah.
But I don't understand. Oh, do you have to collect these things?
No, that's where you died.
Oh, forget that.
I can't remember quite what you've got to do.
Maybe you have to collect these things. Oh yeah, I collected
Food.
something.
That's food,
Collected
yeah.
something. What about this? Oh, I collected something else. This game actually.
It is a brilliant game actually.
Oh, I
I just
collected
can't
that.
remember
Oh
what
no, I
earth
can't
you've
pick
got
that
to
up.
do.
I can't pick that up. Oh, I picked that up.
Go down through that well. Down.
Oh my god.
What a superb game. I really, really love this. This is one of the defining Spectrum games
I
actually.
wonder what happens when.
Brilliant.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I wonder what happens when you collect everything. Oh, there's something to collect.
No, that'll kill you. It's a poisonous mushroom.
Oh god. Yay! Bubble bubble!
Right,
Yay,
this is
Bubble
Bobble
Bobble.
Bobble. So we choose Kempston. What's Kempston?
Joystick.
Yeah. You do listen to me after all.
Yeah, I do. I'm too busy playing on my PS4 though. I do listen, I promise.
Got control? I think we just
Oh, yes, I have.
fire. Yes. So this is Bubble Bobble. We're going to be looking at Rainbow Islands actually. This is the sequel to this.
Right, where do you have to go?
You have to shoot those monsters. That's it, and then burst the bubbles.
How?
Don't land on them.
Oh.
You played this before, surely?
No, I only played. No, I haven't actually. Ah, he
You've
got
not
me.
played Bubble Bobble before.
No.
One thing this version is missing is the really funky tune. Bubble Bobble has a really nice tune. Does jump sound funny? Next level. It's not a bad conversion actually. I do like this. It's burst the bubbles. If you don't burst the bubbles, they come out of the bubbles very angry and fast. So if you do trap the monster in a bubble, make sure you burst the bubble.
Bop! Oh no, I missed! Oh no, this is bad. This is
Get
bad.
in quick. There you go.
Yes, I got him.
Pick up everything you see because you get bonuses.
I love the jump sounds.
It's great. Bubble Bobble. Love it. Right, here's another classic game that we just have to look at. I mean, if you mention the word Spectrum, your mind immediately thinks...
Manic Mine.
Manic Miner, yeah. Now, this was inspired by another game that we took a look at a few months ago. Do you remember what that game was?
Mine of 2049.
That's right. You're not allowed to walk into the thistles. That was the fastest, the fastest version of Manic Miner I've ever seen.
I can play it.
You can. Yes, this inspired Matt Smith to write this because he liked Miner 2049. walk under there and jump at the last minute.
Oh, God. Okay.
Otherwise, this is going to be a very long look at this game. There you go, now jump. There you go.
Ah, yes, indeed.
This game sold hundreds of thousands of copies and made Matt Smith an awful lot of money. He became like a celebrity star coder after this game. The sequel to the... that was bad timing. The sequel to this game was Jet Set Willy.
Come on, then.
I've gone up there again. Ooh. It's a masterpiece, this game. It really is. Very, very simple looking, but you know what? It's hard. It's a tough game. As Josh is finding out.
Frustration levels rising.
I remember playing this for the first time thinking, oh my god, this is awesome. Guess what bike I had when this was out?
Huh?
Guess what bike I was riding around in when this was out?
A Voodoo BMX?
What? No, Josh. A Voodoo BMX in 1982. I had a Rally Grifter.
Is that good? I can't tell.
A Rally Grifter. Jump. Let's have a go.
Oh my god.
He's handed a joystick to me. Let's see. I'm probably not going to do much better, to be fair.
Oh my god.
It's tough, isn't it?
A little bit.
Do you know what the secret to this game is?
What's that?
Remembering how everything moves. Do you know what I mean? The way they
Oh,
go
yeah.
backwards and forwards and remembering how things move and timing. It's all about timing. That was a bit close. Got a creaky joystick, which is an Atari 2600 joystick. I still love this joystick.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Oh, that was close. Do you want to try the next level?
No.
Okay. There you have it, folks. Manic Miner on the Specky. Now, this is another favourite of ours, isn't it? We love the Star Wars games. We love the
I love the
arcade
Star Wars
Now, we
games.
looked at this on the Amstrad, wasn't it? I think?
Amstrad.
So let's see how it runs on the Specky. Kempston. Continue.
Ooh.
Press your fire button.
Oh, it's inverted. Oh no, I hate inverted. Well, it's very laggy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a hell of a game to squeeze onto a Z80 processor with only, what, 48k of RAM. So, I think it plays and looks quite nice, actually. Although, if I'm not mistaken, it's absolutely silent. Hang on. No, all I can use is the joystick clicker. There's no sound. Is that right? Is there no sound on Star Wars? On the Spectrum?
I do not know. Probably. No.
The poor little machine is trying so hard with these visuals that it hasn't got any capacity left to make sound.
Probably, actually.
Poor little Specky. It looks alright though, you know. It looks as good, if not better, than the Amstrad.
I don't
Sorry,
think so.
have I upset you? No.
Yes.
So, let's have a look at our type on the Spectrum.
I bet we're going to do so bad.
And we are going to do that. I'll have a go first.
Press fire to play.
No. Tough game. Now we had a practice of this last night, didn't we, Josh? And we couldn't even get
This far.
we got a bit further than this. Apologies for the clicky joystick. This mic we're using picks up every single sound, doesn't it?
Including Mom stubbing on her toe on the way down here.
Oh, was that her?
Yeah.
What's his problem?
You need to go down to that coconut tomorrow.
Can you press the space bar for me, Josh? No, too late, I'm dead.
I pressed the space bar.
It's alright. No, it wasn't your fault. I needed to put the weapon on the front of the ship. This is tough.
Just a bit.
But you know what? It looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
They remind me of Alien.
Well, a lot of funny you should say that. Actually, there's a lot of creatures in this game that was inspired by Alien, yes, and Mr. Giger's artwork. Yeah, Giger, Giger or Geiger? I can't remember. I think it's Giger. Mr. Giger, who designed the Alien. A lot of the visuals in this game are taken from his artwork.
Yeah.
There is a level, I think it's level 3, where a load of aliens come out the background, and they do look very alien type.
That thing looks like Robocop. No, it doesn't. It looks like Ed 209. A lot of things in the Spectrum look like Ed 209, don't they?
Well, it was kind of like that. Well, Robocop came out in 1987, actually.
Yeah.
Now, this is as far as we got last night.
Right, get in. Move! Oh, I need to go.
Did it again, didn't I? Let's see if we can get past that thing. It doesn't look like we're going to. That's R-Type on the Specky. Right, Robocop is another classic, really, really good game. Again, do you know what I'm going to say?
What's
it's
that?
Tough.
Is it?
It is really hard.
Well, when we was practicing yesterday, I got further than Dad.
You did?
Yeah.
I just fired like a lunatic and didn't realise that you've only got so many bullets.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Rolling Thunder, isn't it?
A little bit. I'm good at it.
Go for it. Nice looking graphics. Shoot him many times, otherwise he causes you a lot of damage, doesn't he? Nice shot.
Keep an eye on my bullets, please.
You've got 37 bullets. I love them. I'm a big fan of Robocop, actually. I think it's a brilliant film. A bit too violent for you at your age, but it's a film you definitely
I watched
should.
the new one. I watched the new
Oh, the new one. Oh, let's not even talk about the new Robocop. It's awful. Absolutely. How can you have Robocop without Clarence Bodica? Not possible. He makes that film, literally, Clarence does.
I know
But
the ambush you get.
I first saw Robocop when I was 15.
Oi, stop nagging!
It was released in 1987.
How'd you pick that box up? See, he does get to you.
Yes.
Robocop's tougher than this.
Yes, he should be, yeah.
Ah, shush. That's a telephone.
It is a telephone, actually. I thought for some strange reason.
You're doing better than me. I hate this guy with the chainsaws.
How can you shoot? How can he soak up so many bullets? He's only got a chainsaw.
Big fat guy.
That's fair. Not.
There's a lot of
Somehow, I don't think Robocop would be hurt by a guy with a chainsaw. Right, Rainbow Islands, wonderful game by Graft Gold.
Indeed.
Really like this game. It's tough.
Insect Island.
It's
round
tough.
1.
What beautiful visuals! Look at that.
Oh.
Avoid the insects.
Oh.
Looks really nice, doesn't it? Very colourful for a Spectrum game, actually, because the majority of Spectrum games just have a black background. You just push straight up and jump up, but avoid the in.
Ah!
I really like the look of this game, actually. It's a very, very pretty looking game. Now, it's very cutesy, doesn't it? It doesn't look tough, but it is a lot tougher than it looks, this game, you know. Now, here's an interesting game that came out relatively late, 1987, which was almost the end of the Spectrum's life, really, but, well, yeah, 1987, late in the Spectrum's life.
Let's go.
Let's have a go. Great horizontal shooter, but we cannot for the life of us figure out
Let's play it. The weapon select.
the weapon select. Yeah, how do you use the weapon select?
I did spacebar. I'll try spacebar. No.
No,
I'll try
I don't
1.
know.
No. 2. No.
You're going to mess the game up.
3. No. 4.
chord.
No. Four chord. 5. No. 6. No. Oh, hang on. Hang on, let's try 6 again. Let's try 5 again. No. 6. No. 7. No. 8.
If anyone knows... No, it's me holding the 5 button down. If anybody knows what the weapon select is on Design That 3, let us know, because we can't fathom it out.
No, I've tried all the numbers.
How on earth do you change weapon? I know you can, because you can see that box there in the left. But anyway, it's a really good looking game, this is. I like this. I'm a big fan of horizontal shooters anyway.
Yeah.
My favourite being Nemesis, yeah. Ooh.
Well, seriously, it looks like Thunderbird 3. Stay still.
So there you go. That was the absolutely incredible Sinclair Spectrum. What do you think of the Sinclair Spectrum?
It's a bit small for my liking.
It is small. The 48K, the original, is very small. We were using the Plus, though, actually, for our games.
It's small.
It's just brilliant, isn't it? I mean, what
and it's tense.
An amazing...
Do you know, that's getting old now. We're going to have to switch that to something as well, aren't we?
What an amazing little machine. What did you think of Elite running on it?
Ooh. How the hell did it get Elite on it in the first place?
Well, you see, this is what amazes me about the Spectrum.
Yeah.
How on earth did David Braben and Ian Bell manage to squeeze Elite into less than 48k of memory? 48k? I mean, we're talking about a game with, we're talking about a 3D shooting wireframe space trading game, and they managed to squeeze it in less than 40. Absolute hats off to those two guys. Very, very well done. I still to this day don't know how you did it. So that was a Spectrum.
Yes.
And we love the Spectrum, and so do so many people out there.
So do many people out there.
Especially Bazza H.
Is that?
Bazza H loves the Spectrum.
Is his name Barry, like yours?
Must be. Didn't we? Deja vu. I'm sure we said that last episode, didn't we?
That's creepy. Moving on.
Ooh, moving on. Right, it's time to
Spectrum
discuss
next.
a bit of news.
It's time for the news.
Oh, wrong glasses.
I need some glasses.
Right, so earlier on you asked me about the Spectrum. Well, the new Spectrum.
Did I?
Yes, you did. There is a new Spectrum coming out, and this is incredible. I'm so excited about this. Can you tell?
Not really. Not as much as you were with the Vectrex.
Oh, I was excited about the Vectrex.
Moving on.
Spectrum Next, yeah, sorry. In April of this year, full funding was reached on Kickstarter for a new Spectrum project called the Spectrum Next. Over £350,000 was raised by over 1,600 backers.
Including you.
Including us. The Retro Shed is a backer for the Spectrum Next, who wanted to see a new and updated Spectrum. It's a crowdfunded project, and the case for the new Spectrum Next is designed by Rick Dickinson, the same guy who designed the original. Nice one.
Wow.
This one looks absolutely stunning, actually. There it is. Have a look at that. Beautiful. So, I bet you're wondering what's new about this new Spectrum. Is it just the same old Spectrum, or is it a new Spectrum?
It's obviously a new one because it's got Next at the back. So it obviously means like next one up.
It's actually a bit of both. So it's fully compatible with all the original Spectrum software.
Yeah.
Right, plays all the original games, but it's got faster processors, HDMI port. Mm-hmm. It's got Wi-Fi on board.
Internet.
It uses SD cards.
Do you know what?
It looks brilliant.
Kids my age are going to love that because, like, kids go to places and they're like, immediately, what's the Wi-Fi password? There's no signal. I can't get onto Instagram. I haven't got internet connection. You know what I mean?
Are you slipping back into 16-year-old mode?
No, girls at my school in my year do that.
Do they?
Yeah. Moving on.
So the new ZX Spectrum Next ships in January of 2018, and I cannot wait. I'm going to be like a kid on Christmas Day all over again. It'll take me right back to 1982.
And I'll be the only one grown up here.
You wait till you see the Spectrum Next. You're going to love that. Anyway, there's another bit of news actually, and this is quite interesting. This news broke, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Kit Kat and Atari have fallen out. They're not friends at the moment.
Kit Kat's a chocolate bar company, Atari's a gaming company.
That's right, yeah. Kit Kat maker Nestle have been accused by Atari of copying Breakout. And you know what Breakout is, don't you?
Beep, boop.
That's right.
Beep.
Brilliant.
Beep, boop,
Breakout
beep.
is a 1970s computer game made by Atari. Now, apparently, this advert shows a game similar to Breakout with a ball being bat up and down and hitting Kit Kat bars. Now, Nestle have said that they're aware of this lawsuit and would defend itself strongly against the allegations. Now, as we know, Breakout was created
By Atari.
as a successor to Pong by Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs from Apple. I bet you didn't know that. This advert, right,
That's what it will sound like.
featuring Kit Kat, was run in 2016. Now,
So it was made in 2016.
the advert ran in 2016. Atari have got their knickers in a twist over it, and they're very angry with Nestle, and they're going to write a letter and say, we're very, very angry with you.
We're cross.
We're cross. Do you know what, Atari? Just chill out. You know, it
Chill out.
really isn't that bad.
If anything,
I
they're
think
helping
it's
support your game.
exactly. I think it's wonderful that we're getting to see a reference to such an old classic game. Just chill out, you know, Atari. Whoever runs Atari now, I don't even know who owns Atari anymore,
Barry!
to be honest with you.
How do you not know that?
That is the news, but as always, thank you very much for watching our channel. We really, really do appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
We do, don't we, really?
Please.
Please like
Or
or dislike
if
if
you
you
don't
don't
like
like. Yeah, if you don't like what we
Probably
do,
don't
dislike.
like me shouting Amstrad constantly.
Yeah, probably.
And he
But
probably
yeah,
didn't like my 16-year-old intro either. It's his idea, I swear. Yes.
thank you very much for watching our video today, and we will see you probably sometime next week,
Probably.
where we'll be discussing. I haven't got a clue because I haven't had to think about it
It's
yet.
my choice.
Hey,
You chose the Spectrum. It's my choice.
I
It's
tell
my
you what
choice.
we need to do:
What's that?
the history of light gun games and take a look at Time Crisis.
No, you chose Spectrum. It's my go. After my go, we'll do that. I choose Big Track because they wanted to see Big Track, didn't they?
Actually, yeah. Should we have a look at Big Track
do
and
Big Track.
Starbird? Some of the MB Electronics
Let's do some toys.
toys.
This time.
Yeah, let's do some
Toys.
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 That always reminds me of the little boy in Close Encounters when he looks out the window. You know when the UFOs are coming to the house, and there's a little boy and I can't remember the name.
Oh, in that
Barry
house.
and
Yeah,
what's her name in
Barry.
the house, and he looks out the window. And what does he say? He looks up and goes.
Toys.
He goes toys. Do you know why he did that?
Why?
Because Steven Spielberg was
Yeah.
up a ladder
Yeah.
outside the window, and to get the kid's attention, he had a load of toys in his hand.
Yeah.
And the camera was looking down at the little
Yeah.
kid, and Spielberg showed a load of toys, and the kid looked into the sky and went, toys!
Yeah, actually.
And there you go. Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, join us next week. Bye!